Calificas para ser legal. ¿Quieres saber? Solo llama al abogado Andres Mejer.
Good morning. I'm Andres Mejer, and today we have an interesting program for you. I know I was surprised when I looked at what is the county in the state of New Jersey that writes the most DUI tickets. What is the county that has the most DUI arrests? And then which are the cities that have the highest arrests for DUIs? I was floored. I was surprised, and I think you will be too. My name is Andres Mejer. I'm an immigration DUI attorney here in Eatontown and in Eatontown and Lakewood, New Jersey. Our office was in Long Branch for a long time, and we recently moved. Main number is 888-888-0307. Today I'm here to talk to you about immigration, but we're starting with DUI. About 2 weeks ago, we had a whole program only on driving while under the influence of alcohol. What are the common defense strategies? What happens when you get an arrest? How can you beat a case, if you can beat a case? And what are the effects on immigration? So if you're interested in learning more about DUI, take a look at our website, andresmejerlaw.com, or go to our Facebook page, look at the videos, and you'll find it. It's in English or in Spanish if that's your preference. Starting in 2019, all our radio shows are done first in Spanish, that's live on the radio, and then I do the same content just on Facebook Live in English here for you now. So back to the topic at hand, DUIs. Now, get ready for this. Number one county in New Jersey for issuing DUI arrest was Monmouth County. Number one. I would have thought Essex, Newark, I would have thought maybe Trenton, maybe Camden, but Monmouth? Why Monmouth? So in 2018, so the fiscal year for state of New Jersey for these type of arrests ends in June. So we have numbers from 2018, 2017 and earlier. Monmouth issued 2,720 tickets for DUI. That's 2,720 arrests. After them was Middlesex. That surprised me too. 2,400. I would have thought the northern counties, because there's more population, more people, probably more arrests. Apparently that's not the case. Camden, number 3, 2,379. Bergen came in number 4, 2,209. Burlington came in with 1,988 arrests. Essex, Newark, which I would have assumed was number 1, came down with 1,245 arrests, less than half of Monmouth County. Ocean County came in as number 7, 1,935. Atlantic City, you would think, all right, people go down, they gamble, they drink, then unfortunately they drive. Maybe they have a little too much to drink, they think they're fine, all of a sudden behind the wheel they realize they're not so fine. Atlantic was number 8 with 1,801. Now, so I got to thinking, why or how would Monmouth County be number 1? So my assumption is, and I don't know this for a fact, my assumption is most of those arrests are in the summer and most of those are on the Jersey Shore. So think Seaside, Point Pleasant, Asbury Park. People go to a bar or to a concert or just on the beach, have fun, have some drinks, get behind the wheel, and there's a lot of big roads. You know, the Turnpike. The Turnpike is further north, but Garden State Parkway, Route 18, where there's a heavy police presence. Now, when I looked at the top 10 cities that issued DUIs, that was more in line with what I have assumed. Sort of. Camden was number 1 with 495 tickets or arrests for DUIs in 2018. Hamilton, Atlantic County, right outside Atlantic City, number 2 with 460. Trenton, 437. Woodbridge, really? But yeah, Woodbridge, 370. Again, lots of roads over there. People drive. So it isn't necessarily people go, drink, and get pulled over around the corner from where they left or where they were going. It's also driving through a location to go from one place to another. So Woodbridge, Garden State Parkway, I think the Turnpike is around exit 129, right around that area. Lots of big roads, lots of traffic. And lots of cops. Newark came in number 5, 535. So almost half of all tickets written in the county of Essex, which includes Newark, were written in Newark City. Toms River, 338. Wall Town was number 6. Wall Township, number 7, was 320. And Howell came in at 307. So of the top 10 cities in the state of New Jersey for arrests for DUI, 3 of them are in Monmouth and or Ocean County. Honestly, I would have expected more in Lakewood. But I guess as a whole, it's just, that Lakewood's not even top 10. And we defend a lot of people on DUI arrest in Lakewood. Wall also. Toms River, Howell, Homedale, well, not so much Howell, but Lakewood, Howell, they're right next to each other. But yeah, so big surprise for me. I don't know about you guys, but I was floored. Monmouth County, number 1 for number of DUIs. So again, common defense strategies. Look at a prior video 2 weeks ago. You can find it on the website. You can find it on Facebook. But one thing everybody should have, and that is this red card. We introduced it after the World Cup. That's why we called it the red card. Stop. You should have this in your wallet. You should have it on your person in case you're pulled over. Now, I understand because of the way it's written, you can't actually read this because it comes out backwards. But it's in English and it's in Spanish, and it really says, listen, I am exercising my rights. So you get pulled over by the police, you take this out. I am exercising my Fifth Amendment right. I have the right to stay quiet. I will not answer your questions. I will not sign or give you any documents. I will not sign anything without first speaking to my attorney. I will not speak with you without my attorney present. Very important, because I guarantee you, if you get pulled over on a Friday in the summer by the Jersey Shore at 2 a.m., pretty much any time after sundown, one of the very first questions the officer is going to ask is, hey, you been drinking today? If you say yes, you're getting arrested. Now, if you've been drinking and you say no, you lied, you're likely getting arrested. But if you don't answer the question, you say, with all due respect, officer, I'm exercising my rights to not answer your question. You're not giving them any information that the officer can use to arrest you. Now, other rights, Fourth Amendment right, I'm not giving you permission to enter my home unless you have a warrant. I'm not giving you permission to search my person or my car, so enter your home. How does that happen? Well, officer pulls you over or is following you while you're driving. You get to the house, you start walking into the house, or you're in the house when the officer shows up and says, please step outside. Now, you don't have to let him into your house without a warrant. You don't have to give him permission to search your car without a warrant. Now, often the officer will say, I could just call the judge and get it. Well, go ahead and get it then, because I'm not going to give it to you voluntarily. They're saying, do you really want me to go through the effort? Do you really want me to waste your time? Yes, because more often than not, they're not going to get it. It's just that simple. So, red card, if you want it, call us, 888-888-0307. Post here on Facebook. Find us on Facebook. Go to the website. Show up at our office. Whatever you want. We'll give you a free consultation. We'll evaluate your situation and we'll give you a card. If you just want the card, we'll mail it to you. No cost. All right. So that's about DUI. I know for me it was very surprising. Now let's get on to the rest of our show, which is really about Trump's continued war on immigration and immigrants, and how now it's affecting colleges and universities and students. For the second year in a row, the number of foreign applications for student visas has gone down. 2017 went down 2%. 2018 went down 4%. Now, those are significant numbers. And it's the first time in the past almost 20 years since they started tracking this that we've had 2 consistent dips in a row. Now, most students, they come in under a student visa. Now, sometimes they come to the U.S. as a tourist and they change their status. That's rare, but that does happen sometimes. I don't know where I'm going to apply, so I'm going to go and visit. I'm going to visit some schools, and then I'm going to apply to the school that I want. Not all students are going to show up not having seen the school and just request the visa and enter as a student, never having seen the place and not knowing where it is or anything about the country necessarily. So now there's a lot of reasons why numbers have gone down. Muslim ban, just to think of it, I mean, there are certain countries that the number of visitors, period, from North Africa, the Middle East, has gone down dramatically. Why? Because the Trump administration has made it very clear they don't want those people. And they make their lives very difficult coming in, that, to one, get the visa, then when they get the visa to enter the U.S. Through a port of entry, like an airport, life's become very difficult for people from certain parts of the world. We know of professionals, celebrities, historians in their own countries that have come for conferences and stuff that have routinely done so, and now being accosted at the airport, going through secondary processing, and just all around making their lives difficult. Now, another group. So, who's the main beneficiary of all this, by the way? Canada. Number of applicants to colleges has gone up dramatically in Canada. Number of immigrants going to Canada is also going up. Now, when you think about it, there's problems at every level. So there's student visa, so people want to come in, want to study. Then after they complete their course of study, they usually get work authorization for a year or 2 years, depending on what it is that they did. Many people then apply for the H-1B. What's that? H-1B is an employment visa for people with a specialty occupation. That's the title. Really, what it talks about is people who have experience, have education or experience that an employer needs. Now, often it can be either a bachelor's degree, undergraduate, or a master's or higher level. Now, it's a lottery. They only issue 85,000 a year. 20,000 are for master's programs, 65,000 are for undergraduate. Now, it can be education or equivalent experience, but it's really difficult to show that you have the requisite amount of experience without any education. Ideally, you have an undergraduate degree and a master's degree, makes life easier. Or you can have an associate and then many years of experience in the subject that you're looking to work in. But again, those are harder. So you got a lottery. You're applying in April. Trump got rid of premium processing. So understand the stupidity of this. Companies are paying $1,200, $1,500 extra to get a timely decision on, and they're getting rid of it. No, they did get rid of it. There isn't premium processing, and hopefully it'll be brought back for this year, but who the heck knows? Now, on top of it, there's now 68%, almost 70%, almost 7 out of 10 people who applied and were chosen by the lottery are now getting requests for additional information. That slows down the process. So you're applying in April for a job in October. If you get a request for evidence, you're not starting in October. The process could very well be delayed 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Denial rates have gone up. Everything is slowing. Like we had Roy Clemente, who is a client of ours, and in the Spanish version of the program, he asked, and I promised I would respond. In this program, simply speaking, because he speaks English, not Spanish, or he's more comfortable in English, but he applied for a fiancé visa. And he's waiting for his fiancée to get approved and to get the interview at the embassy in her country. Well, it's been waiting for 4 months and it's been pending. What's going on? And he's not really getting much information. Well, the Trump administration is making it difficult for people like me to get that information. So generally speaking, you have, once you have any application, you get a receipt. That's the government saying thank you for your payment. On that document is a number, usually begins EAC and 9 or 10 numbers. If you go to uscis.gov, just Google USCIS case status, put in that receipt number, it'll give you a status update. Problem is, all it says is pending. We're in review for the most part. And it says it months after months after months. So historically, attorneys had access to supervisors to try to figure that out, what's going on. We still do, but it's a whole lot harder. The administration really wants us to go to a call center and wait on hold for hours, sometimes with our client on the phone or in person to be able to get that information. It's really cumbersome for all parties concerned, and it's intentionally done so. But 4 months is unfortunately not that long a time in today's climate. It is a long time. The whole point of fiancé visa is supposed to be quick. Unfortunately, it's delayed. Now, H-1B, $85,000 a year, $65,000 for undergraduate, $24,000 for masters. It's a 3-year program which can be extended for another 3 years. So now, let's say I come in as a student. Let's say I went to Rutgers undergraduate. So I started Rutgers. I did about 3 semesters. I left. I moved abroad. I lived there for a couple of years. I came back to visit, and I decided I was going to stay. So in 1998, I came back, and then I said, you know what? Let me stay here for 2 years, finish my degree, and then go back to my country, where my parents, where my siblings, where my family was, my girlfriend was. Everything. My life was outside the U.S. I did not think I'd be living here today in 2019. So I went to college. I graduated 2 years later, and things were difficult in my home country. So I decided to stay and go to college. Go to law school. And in law school, I met my wife. And my wife said, hey, your country's beautiful, but I like it here and I'm staying here. So I did. Now, my story is like many other immigrants. We come from one reason, time passes, and all of a sudden we're still here. So imagine that I was an immigrant. I was a green card holder back then, law firm resident, and by the time I was in law school, I was already a citizen. But for purposes of I became a citizen in 1999. So for purposes of conversation, let's assume that didn't happen. And let's assume I entered as a student, with a student visa. And then I extended it for a graduate program. And at that graduate program, I met my spouse. Let's imagine she's also an immigrant. And let's say she didn't continue with her school, or we decided to have a family and she decided not to work. That's not, my family, my wife's an attorney and we work together. But for conversation, let's assume that's not the case. So I could have qualified as an H-1B visa. Let's say I had it. My wife under the Obama administration was extended, or would have been extended, work authorization under category H-4. Well, Trump administration has tried to remove that. There was a lawsuit. They weren't able to do it unilaterally. So instead, they're doing it through the rulemaking process, the appropriate process. The same way that Obama did to institute that work authorization, Trump is now trying to take it away. And understand what we're talking about here. These are educated people, educated here in the U.S., speak our language, have a job, pay taxes, no criminal record. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the visa. And we want to take away their employment authorization. They're employed. So that means that employer is out that employee. And they have to find someone else. That's when you look at the difficulties getting a student visa. The challenges that's happening. The challenges even when you get the visa to enter the U.S. Then once you have it, the paths to stay, like in H-1B, one, there's more people applying than there are visas. Number two, it's taking longer. Some employers are getting discouraged. Some students are getting discouraged, and they're leaving. They're taking the education that they paid to get here. They're taking the skills, their energy, and their resources, and they're taking it to their home country. It's a net loss to the U.S. And one of the biggest beneficiaries is Canada. Why? Because their immigration process is streamlined. Within weeks, you can get employment authorization. Within months, you're a lawful permanent resident. Canada's a little cold for me. To be honest, New Jersey is cold for me. But at the end of the day, this is home. So, employment-based visa, H-1B, you need to have legal status. Most often, it's people that have graduated from here. They need a college education. They need certain experience, whether it's through education or through experience. And look, things are just tougher than they've ever been. They're taking longer. It's just really unpleasant to be an immigrant in the United States right now. Yes, we get results. We, as in my firm and I. But at the end of the day, it's just taking longer. And there's more bumps in the road. They're asking for more information. They're challenging more. We're taking things to court more. That's just an unfortunate reality of Trump's war on immigrants. His America First policy is saying, well, we don't want immigrants, so we're going to make their lives difficult at every stage of the game. Let me give you an example. I'm going to talk to you about Kim. Now, Kim is not his real name. He entered the U.S. as a student, had a student visa, graduated with a master's program. And I see Roy Clement is here. Thank you. I answered your question in English earlier, about 5-10 minutes ago. Hopefully you heard it. If not, just give us a call and we'll walk you through it again. Thanks, Roy, for hanging in there. So back to Kim. Entered as a student, had a student visa, graduated, again, with a master's program in engineering. So intelligent, capable individual, gets employed while he has employment authorization. And he has family here that have been in the U.S. So he's visiting his cousin. His cousin calls him up and says, hey, do me a favor. Can you drive me over to New Jersey? I need a hand to carry some stuff. Why don't you come spend the weekend with us in Jersey? He said, sure, why not? He goes, he picks him up. They load his car, comes in to New Jersey, and at his cousin's house, well, the police come in. Unbeknownst to Kim, his cousin was suspected of doing, some really bad stuff, trafficking in stolen goods, and the stuff that was in his car, unbeknownst to Kim, was stolen. Now, Kim was arrested, and a police officer arrested him for obstructing justice, for not being more forthcoming with the stolen property and information about his cousin. So there's almost no evidence to it. From what we've seen, his criminal attorney reached out to us and hired us and said, listen, can we help can we help Kim get his legal status back? Because the arrest alone, he got an email from USCIS saying your student visa is canceled. No due process, no opportunity to be heard, just outright cancellation, no explanation. Now, it's March. April is H-1B season. His employer was going to apply for his H-1B so he could stay because his work authorization ends next year. Now he's got a problem. He's accused of a crime, not convicted, just accused. And based on that alone, they canceled his visa, they canceled his work authorization, and he has 180 days to leave the U.S. or he's barred for 3 years. So we need to move really quickly. We're trying to get his visa reinstated. It's unlikely to happen while the violation is pending, while the crime is pending. So with his criminal defense attorney, we're trying to get that removed and dismissed as quickly as possible, because at the end of the day, there's no evidence against Kim. It's all against the cousin. And his story is reasonable. He has no prior involvement in any of these activities. He was just the driver of the car. And it's family. It isn't like a stranger or a neighbor. Now, so we'll give you more information when we know it. But that's just a small example of stuff that's going on. Now, imagine somebody is a student, maybe he's underage, at a party, police come, and there's alcohol. He gets arrested for underage drinking. He could lose his visa. He could lose his scholarships, if he has scholarships. He could lose grants. He could find himself kicked out of the U.S. for, at the end of the day, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Very dangerous time to be anything other than a U.S. citizen. So if you're a lawful permanent resident, apply for your citizenship as soon as you can. If you're undocumented or illegal, as others call it, well, speak to an immigration attorney, find out what your options are as quickly as you can. My name is Andres Mejer. You can reach us at 888-888-0307. You can find us on the website, andresmejerlaw.com, or on Facebook, Andres Mejer Law. That's our handle on most social media. So thank you for sharing some of your morning with me. Until next time, have a good day.
Calificas para ser legal, ¿quieres saber? Solo llama al abogado Andres Mejer.